Hey guys, how's it going? It's Al. Welcome back to another video. We're going to talk about today the top rookie running backs for your fantasy football drafts in 2021. Let's take a look at who was drafted. Let's take a look at where they're at. We're going to take a look at their ADP. We're going to see what type of playing time that they have. We're going to go through all of them. I got a top 5 for you, and as you guys have realized, I can't just do a top 5. I got to do a top 5 plus 1. So I got a top 5 plus 1 on these top rookie running backs for your fantasy teams this year. And we're going to take more in-depth looks as the season comes around every single week and who you should play on DraftKings for your lineups based on the salaries when those come out. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, leave a reply down below, click all the things in the description, go downstairs and then like somebody else's comment, leave your username on Underdog and maybe somebody will sign up and get you a $25 bonus over there. And let's get to the video.
He's a legend.
The friends and family drafts are coming up this weekend, more than likely, if not at the beginning of next week's. If you haven't had them already, you do want to check out our free 10-day trial that we have on rotowire.com. Go down below in the pinned comment, click that link, rotowire.com/smizzle. Go support the people that support the channel. Everything that you want is right there. 10 days, MLB, golf. You can check out their NFL ADPs on every different site for every different type of format. You can print out their draft cheat sheets for you to help you out in your draft. Everything you want is right there, and it's absolutely free. I can't beat free. Go check them out. The number 1 running back on our list today is Najee Harris out of Alabama. First round draft pick. I don't care. We're not going to get into the, running backs don't matter. We're not going to get into you shouldn't spend first round draft equity on a running back. That's more of a real football discussion, a team building discussion, a salary cap discussion, whatever. We're just going to talk about the fantasy impact of it. And Najee Harris is in a position to make the best impact of every single fantasy football running back rookie out there this year. Now, his ADP is a little bit steep for me, so I don't have a lot of shares of Najee Harris. It's just not a guy that I've been targeting based on where he's being drafted. His ADP is currently 16.8. And he's being drafted really high when in comparison to other guys around him. Like, he is right now the RB12. If we kind of go over to Underdog Fantasy, we can sort by running backs. These are the freshest ADPs. These are based on every draft that has just been finished. He's going ahead right now of Joe Mixon. And he's going 4 picks ahead of Joe Mixon. And that's a problem for me because Joe Mixon is on arguably a better offense. Joe Mixon has a better offensive line. Joe Mixon's quarterback is a little bit more spry instead of the weather balloons that, Roethlisberger has been throwing out there. And while they are going to, both are going to get a lot of volume, Joe Mixon should probably not come off the field very much. I'm looking at 25 touches a game more often than not. I think that Joe Mixon, out of the 17 games this year, assuming health, is going to get the ball 25 times a game on more than half of his games played, including 5-6 targets a game. Now, Najee Harris may approach that sort of usage, but I'm thinking maybe 20 or 22 touches, and volume is king. So to me, I'm not looking at taking Najee Harris over Joe Mixon. Now, if you want to, go ahead. It's fine. I'd prefer to take a wide receiver in that range. This is just a really down year for rookie running backs. We've seen things like this in the past where guys don't have a job, and then they kind of get a job as the year goes along. Najee Harris is the only running back right now who's a rookie who has a clear path to like 18 plus touches a week. He's a big dude. He's going to get those inside the 5 carries. We know how Pittsburgh deploys their running backs under their coaching staff. It's been that way for years, and now they have the horse that they want to ride. The question is, can the offensive line do well enough? We've seen running backs do well with bad offensive lines too. Like James Robinson posted monster numbers last year as a rookie because of the volume that he got. So Najee Harris is going to post good numbers. I just have a slight issue with his ADP. I'm preferring to take other players over him. Antonio Gibson, I'm taking Joe Mixon over him, so I just don't have a lot of shares of Harris. But if he's the guy you believe in, he should get the volume to be able to be fine at that range. Somebody who will not get the volume to be fine at that range is literally every other fantasy rookie running back this year, although rookie running backs can come on over the course of the season. So Devonta Williams is that guy. Right now he's stuck behind MG3, but he should take over the job at some point during the season as the weeks move along. So the guy who he kind of resembles to me not in terms of a comp. Okay, do not say, okay, Al compared this guy to Miles Sanders, but let's compare him to Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders, not Miles Sanders, Miles Sanders stats. We're going to take a look back at Miles Sanders' rookie season, when we all wanted, everybody on draft Twitter, everybody on fantasy football Twitter, all wanted Miles Sanders back in 2019 to be the guy. But looking at what his usage was early in the year, I think that this statistical comp is what Devonta Williams is going to be looking at. Sporadic touches, not a lot of snaps, probably 30 to 45% of the running back snaps at the position, probably 35 to 40% of the running back touches for his team. And he's an excellent pass catcher along the lines of what Miles Sanders was, and probably a better runner based on the size, just a better inside the 5 runner. But you look at as the season rolled along past like week 8, he started getting more usage. And he started getting more usage in the passing game, more usage on the ground, and became an extremely valuable player down the stretch. This is kind of how I expect Devonta Williams' game log to look as they kind of start the season with MG3 and Devonta down here, and it's going to slowly change as the year goes along, as maybe they're going to be phasing him out based on the fact that they did trade up to get Williams in the second round, trying to leapfrog the Dolphins because they thought that they were going to take him. They didn't want to lose the talent. The kid certainly has talent, excellent in the passing game, and as his touches grow over the course of the season, we're going to be more interested in him in daily fantasy as well. But if you're drafting him for season long, you need to understand that if you're drafting him as your RB1 or RB2, that he might not have very much transactional value. If you're playing in a friends and family or any transaction league, it's going to be hard to click him in there as one of your 2 starting running backs or your flex, probably for the first month and a half, 2 months of the season. But when he takes over, he should be rolling. So I like him at that point. I get to wait and see for daily fantasy. If you want to draft him in best ball, fine, but the price is going to be expensive as his ADP is currently 62.5 as the running back 24 off the board. He's going to have to do a lot to pay that off. Trey Sermon is another one who people are paying a lot to draft with an ADP just behind Devonta Williams of 69.5 as the 26th running back off the board. The rookie out of OSU has major upside, considering that, you know, from week 11 to 17, the 49ers just play an awful lot of really bad defenses. There's one in there that's like the Vikings defense is fine, but like the rest of them are just bad, right? So he has, I'm not going to say it's exactly the same, but he has a David Montgomeryan from the 2020 football season run in, whoever the starting running back is for the 49ers. And if we look back at the last 3 years, Raheem Mostert has been an injury-prone sort of player. He played 16 games 2 seasons ago in 2019, but he has 15 games missed in those other 2 seasons. If Trey Sermon takes over the job from the 30-year-old Raheem Mostert, right now at the beginning of the season, it's Mostert's job. And he is #good. No matter what else you want to, whatever other anecdotal type evidence you want to draw, whatever narratives you want to tell about Raheem Mostert, when he's healthy and in this 49ers offense, he has been good. But if something happens to him, if he gets dinged, if he gets injured, if he misses a couple of weeks and Trey Sermon comes in and Wally pips him, he has the easiest run-in during the highest leverage weeks of the fantasy season, weeks 11 through 17 of this year. The season is 18 weeks long right now, just in case people are saying, getting ready to type in the comments, nobody plays their championship game in week 17 now. Well, this year they're going to. Trey Sermon has like one of the easiest run-ins possible, like a David Montgomery style run-in from last year, and you saw what he did when given that sort of opportunity. If Trey Sermon takes over the job, Trey Sermon will have that opportunity on a fantastic team that should be ahead. And you guys know those 5-box running backs. We want running backs. 2 of those boxes are they playing at home? Are they favored? The 49ers are going to have both of those in a lot of those situations from week 11 through 17, and the bonus of actually having really soft matchups. Moving on to our next player. This guy is falling like a stone, and Michael Carter, the other UNC running back coming into the league as a rookie this year. When lineups got put out, when salaries for week 1 got put out, and he was the stone minimum at $4K, and at that point of camp, before any preseason games were played, was projected to be the Jets starter with maybe like 15, 16 touches, and he excels in the passing game. He was basically a lock and load on the way too early first look. Not so much right now. I quote from one of the Jets beat writers, "The Jets will employ a committee approach." Michael Carter during camp failed to beat out Ty Johnson and the walking zombie of Tevin Coleman. Not great, Bob. If and when Michael Carter takes over the job, he's going to help because of how good he is in the passing game. If you're playing in full PPR leagues, that's great. I just don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. If it does happen, I don't know that they're not going to play 2 other running backs and give them run as well. All plans and all bets are off right now. He was going off with an ADP in like the 8th round. Currently his ADP sits at 108 and falling, being drafted as the RB 33 overall. Draft with caution and be patient if you do. Raimondre Stevenson, here's the last couple of guys that are just shooting up charts. Raimondre Stevenson being my number 5 guy on my top 5 running backs. He is going to slide into that 3rd running back job on the New England Patriots after a ridiculously great preseason where he tallied 30 carries for 216 yards, including 7.2 yards per carry and 5 touchdowns. Following the Sony Michel trade, that leaves Damian Harris as the lead back. We know what James White's job is going to be. Harris is going to run about 40% of the snaps. James White's going to play about 35 to 37% of the snaps. Raimondre Stevenson is probably going to soak up the other 35% of the snaps. I know that doesn't add up to 100. Leave me the F alone. Sometimes they play 2 running backs at a time. That's what they do in New England. Don't fact check me. The fact that he's going to be one of those 40% type guys early in the season, guys that we've targeted all throughout draft season. We've seen guys like Darrell Henderson, who was one of these 40%ers, right? Take over the job when Cam Akers got hurt. Gus Edwards was a 40%er, took over the job when J.K. Dobbins got hurt. That's why when you're drafting these guys as your RB3 or lower, or if you're going with a 0 RB or a running back and chill approach and you take these later round running backs, you want to draft 40% guys instead of, well, if the guy gets hurt, I have somebody useful. Raimondre Stevenson is going to have some usefulness. Not unlike I said about Devonta Williams earlier, but he's being drafted way later. Don't have to pay as much. ADP of 146 and climbing as the RB 44 off the board. So you can load up on a guy who's already got a job instead of hoping to get a guy who's going to move into a job. Stevenson will have a role on this team. Think like a Rex Burkhead type role from the last few seasons, or the Sony Michel role from the past couple of seasons, with the possibility of upside if Harris does or White does miss games. My +1 is going to be Tyson Williams. Baltimore Ravens. Slides right on into that Gus Edwards role as Gus Edwards takes over the J.K. Dobbins role, and now he has become a 40%er himself. ADP of 184, but that is going to climb as we spend the next 9 days approaching kickoff, on Sunday. Being drafted as the RB 54, looked good in preseason, 24 carries, 130 yards. That's 5.4 yards per carry with 1 touchdown. This is another guy who can help you in your as a last round flyer or a late round flyer in best ball, last round flyer in your friends and family, $1 if you're playing in auction leagues. Maybe you snipe him for 2 to cut somebody out. Guy with a 35 to 40% role in a fantastic running offense, maybe the most efficient running offense in the entire league, playing behind an older, good but not spectacular Gus Bus Edwards. So those are my 5+1 top rookie running backs on the season. I hope that you guys liked the video. If you did, drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell. Leave me a reply with somebody that you think I missed, or if you thought I was wrong about somebody. I'm not right about everything. I'm barely right about more than 55% of what I talk about. That's all you need to beat the rake. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.